Alright, welcome back. And in this episode, we finally take on the Uber Ancients. Took us forever to get a tier 2 sigil to drop, but you combine the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 sigil in the cube for the ability to summon up the Uber Ancients. And I'll go over my gear at the end of the video, but I did want to get you guys to the action as soon as possible. So you saw what the mercenary was wearing. It's far more important that the mercenary and the shadows are kept up. They're going to be tanking this whole fight, so they're a lot more important than my gear, but I will show you what I was considering too. So in this fight, we want to tap on all three of the statues, make sure we get the 3 times loot instead of just fighting them 1 or 2 at a time. But yeah, we're hoping that the mercenary and the shadows are not going to have too much of a trouble with the damage output. But our DPS is looking good, sitting at about 42,000, and everybody's staying up all right. So first shadow goes down, try to make sure they're staying up too, but the mercenary is by far more important to keep up. We don't want to have to save an exit. There's no real ability to reset this one. I didn't bring a town portal anyway. But this is actually a great way to progress an account without any magic find as well. You can see this is the loot pinata, they call it. And there's a lot of stuff that can drop here without it looking at your magic find at all. So if you're just mapping and you're just speed mapping and you're getting the sigils, you could use the little break here to kill the Uber Ancients and maybe find some magic items, some high runes, some good charms, that kind of stuff in here. I'm going to show the loot here. You can see I wasn't real happy with the drops. There was nothing really that jumped out at us. But yeah, we do get into the guides, so at least everyone can have their own. Not that that was much of an improvement on our second best one. Pretty good barb amulet, and you can see the fight wasn't too bad. I did spend quite a bit of time looking at the gear options here, assessing the difficulty. But on my very geared characters, on multiplayer, on ladder, I mean, I can blast these guys down in a matter of seconds. But, you know, it's always better just to really take it seriously. Make sure you're looking at all of your defensive breakpoints, making sure your PDR is good. In Uber Ancients, you also want to focus on your max lightning. I believe it's Madawc that has the thunderstorm, and he's got another lightning attack, and it is nice just to slap a T-Gods on and be safe. Especially if you're a melee character and you're not relying on your mercenary to tank, then you know you got to be sure you can take the damage. But if you were to press me on it, I would actually say Hell Ancients are potentially more dangerous than Uber Ancients. I'd say if you did 100 of each, you'd be likely to die in 0 of the Uber Ancient fights if you had a character that was reasonably prepped for it. But the Hell Ancients, the way they randomize the auras and monster affixes on the Ancients themselves, you can end up with some pretty seriously, like, just dangerous combinations of how they're rolled. And the worst Hell Ancients fights are far worse than the Uber Ancients fight, which does not have any randomization to it. So I just want to point that out. Uber Ancients are not something you should shy away from. They're easy enough, and people actually, they end up with a ton of sigils. They don't really know what to do with them. I feel like a lot of people are just afraid to run the bossing content, and that's part of what I want to show on this channel too, is that there's no real reason to shy away from these fights. You can run your own keys, you can run your own torches, you can run your own Uber Ancients, and I'll show you can even get up to running your own tier 2 Lucian fights, or just even tier 1 and taking a chance on a brick and trying to get some really GG amulets. It only takes 1 to, you know, sell for 12 or 15 or that many high runes on a great desecration. So, you know, that's just something that always seems prevalent in the PD2 community, that there are people that do bossing and there are people that are just afraid to do it. So here's what I'm looking at for my gear. I figured I needed a little bit more for my attack speed breakpoint. That would just be very helpful. So I was looking at what gear we didn't have slammed yet, and if I could get sockets in either the chest piece or the helm, then I could just use the jewels that are in the stash to get to those breakpoints. So we end up getting one socket here through just a Madawc hammer. Didn't really feel like it was even worth a puzzle piece. It's not great overall, but it's very functional. And we're checking our breakpoints here again. We're at 40% PDR, and then we needed 18 more IAS for the breakpoint. And here's that nice shadow PDR helm that was nice, but you know, we bricked that. So we had to really think about what else could get us there. We got the Cannot Be Frozen from the boots. We've got some physical pierce from the gloves. We got some PDR from the ring. We got some damage. We've got the Whisper Mirage. We've got some resistances from the Jade Talon. So overall, we've got, you know, a lot of a good core for this, but we do need a little bit more PDR just in case the fight got a little sketchy. You know, what if they just popped the mercenary really quick and now I'm scrambling around trying to do a lot more summoning of the Shadow Warriors to take some aggro, and my DPS is slowing down and inevitably I'm taking some hits. So that was like a good fight. It was very controlled the entire time. It never got out of hand, but I wouldn't suggest going in there without any PDR and not capped on lightning with even some more over, like the T gods for 83 max lightning. And you know, it took us a little bit to get those sigils, and it'd be a shame to have to just save an exit and you know, not get the loot pinata. So yeah, I mean, this Sage's Defiance wouldn't have been the item I would have chosen right away for the build, but it does help us with 20 more PDR. And the faster cast rate breakpoints are maybe overlooked for Assassin, but we've got two summons. It's quite possible that both of them die at the same time, and we're looking to cast the Shadow Warrior back to back, and the breakpoints there really do make a difference. So just something to look at.